Somebody says Solana needs to be fired and only rehired after he watches all the Rocky movies, at least the first 4.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, he's the underdog. He works out really hard. He eats eggs that haven't been cooked, raw eggs, because it provides muscle. And then there's like a Cold War element to it, right? One of these things is a Cold War element because he's the guy from Philly, great American kid, and who probably has like a criminal past. Am I right about this? He probably has a criminal past, right? Like, it's the same thing as every other boxing move I've ever seen in my entire life.
I want to choke you out.
Does he fight a Russian?
Well, I mean, that's the whole Drago
Oh,
storyline from
okay.
Rocky
Yeah,
3. Like,
yeah,
oh yeah, you really figured that one
yeah,
out. It's
yeah.
only been a storyline talked about since the 80s, and you magically figured out he fights a Russian.
Nailed it.
That's Rocky 4, by the way.
Way to spoil it, Jimmy. Good job, man. And Hawk, let me guess. Let me guess.
Mm.
There's how many of these movies? 6? 6
Around there,
Rocky
yeah.
movies?
Depends
Okay.
if you count the Creed movies.
He loses one of the fights. One of them he loses, but there's a whole redemption arc in the following movie. I nailed it.
Well, you didn't, because how could there be redemption if he's the huge underdog anyway?
But he lost, right? He loses one of them. And one
Well,
of
why
them,
do you have to redeem yourself if you lose something you're supposed to lose?
because he overcame the odds. He proved everybody wrong. He hung in the ring with
Well,
an
that
opponent
doesn't
that was
require redemption.
favorable.
Well, how does that
Of course.
require redemption?
Of course it is. Himself.
What?
The redemption story for himself. He has to come back and prove that he not only can turn heads by belonging, but by actually winning.
You're an idiot.
I'll read the Wikipedia.
Well, it sounds like you have.
I love the song.
Well, there's so many songs.
And I'm telling you, I've been to Philadelphia. I went to the Rocky Balboa statue. I went to the steps. I mean, I've done like I feel like I've
sounds like you're a
experienced
super
this with
fan.
you. I've
It sounds like
experienced
you're
this
a
all
Rocky super fan, honestly.
with all of you. Yeah. Just didn't need to watch the movies. Figured it out.
But I mean, that's one of the reasons that you just get, kind of exposed constantly. You haven't seen some of the iconic films that any sports fan should have seen.
Right.
It's a little embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. How'd you like The Godfather, by the way?
I got the idea. Yeah. Mob boss. Yeah, people come to him with their problems. He can solve them, but then you kind of owe him. I got it.
Two outs, runner on first, by the way, and our guy Stowers is up to bat.
They let him bat against lefties. He's a lefty.
Yeah, but he's batting .299.
Well, because they let him bat against lefties.
Since we're talking about movies, can you believe Lilo and Stitch had the 4th biggest domestic box office gross on Monday ever, Hawk? It beat No Way Home, which is a Spider-Man movie, which we found out yesterday. Spider-Man movies are the second highest grossing film series of all time. And it beat Avengers Endgame, which is part of Marvel, which is number 1.
Memorial Day weekend or just that one day?
Just that one day.
Really?
Yeah. That's crazy, right?
Right.
Okay.
It doesn't sound right.
Well, it doesn't, but it is.
You're telling me Lilo and Stitch outgrossed on Memorial Day Avengers Endgame?
And Spider-Man No Way Home. It's fascinating because I grew up watching the Lilo and Stitch cartoons. That was part of like my childhood, but I never in a million years thought, oh, they're going to bring back Lilo and Stitch 25 years later, and it's going to break records at a theater. Like, I didn't put it in that category of cartoons. Right. Okay.
Was that
And
like Tom and
finally
Jerry, the Lilo and Stitch thing?
yeah, just like Tom and Jerry. And finally, you see this at airline passengers in Turkey who
It
unbuckle their
is
seatbelt.
indeed a box office record.
Really?
Hmm.
Why don't you just listen to me and
Well,
trust
do you
me?
do you do you hear yourself most of the time?
Airline passengers in Turkey. I got this from the Washington Post, the WAPO.
I saw the
So,
story. I saw the story.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you did. AP also reported it. Passengers in Turkey. So you land in Turkey. You unbuckle your seatbelt. You access the overhead compartments, or you stand in the aisle. You occupy the aisle before the plane has completely stopped and finished taxiing. You will receive, under new regulations issued by Turkey, a fine.
Yeah, I'm with that.
And yesterday we talked about the greatest take ever from Nick Wright.
Yeah.
This, to me, is the greatest law ever.
Which,
This
by the way,
one.
you give me the bing bing, I stand up. I want to stretch my legs. I stand up. I stay in my spot. I'm not rushing forward or whatever. I'm in my spot. But you can't stand up before you get the bing bing and they've completed their taxiing and they're attached to the gate. And people that do all it does is slow everybody down. You gotta sit in your seats, please, until we finish. And it just starts a cavalcade.
I don't like the person that stands up, period. Truthfully, I don't.
So I have to sit.
Yeah, you do. Until
Why?
it's your turn. Because until it's your turn.
What's the difference if I'm using my space sitting or standing?
And that's fine. I trust you because I know you're not a D-bag. I trust that you're genuinely getting up. You have the
It's just
aisle
my
seat.
space.
You're
Sometimes
getting up.
if you have a window seat, you just hunch a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just want to be standing.
Yeah, I understand that, though. You want to stretch your legs. You've been sitting for quite some time, and that's fine. But you know what's generally happening here. The person is standing up because now they want to inch their way forward. They want to
That I
grab
don't
their
like.
bag.
Unless they're catching a connecting flight.
That's my point. Don't stand up because the people who genuinely need to get off this plane, they need to deplane for a legitimate reason, can't deplane. And there's like this pride factor that people have where they don't let anybody by them because it's my turn. This is my space. Like, get over yourself. Get over yourself. Oh, you're gonna get off this plane before me? You're what? So you could walk outside the airport 17 seconds before I do?
I love getting off that plane before people.
It's like the people to actually get on the plane. They're group 4. And they start calling first class passengers. And they have to stand at they have to start the line for group 4.
I do that. I time it out.
No, but why?
Yeah, I time it out. I know at what point during the group 3 boarding that they're about to say group 4. And so I'm already on the move.
The people who stand, they just hover around the line.
I love to hover.
But here's the thing. Oh, no, man. I want to make sure I have overhead compartment space. Hey, dummy, guess what happens after they scan your ticket? We're all standing in line in another line now together before we even get on the plane. And then you know what happens when you get on the plane? There's still people in front of you. So you have to stand in another line. So you're not really doing anything. You're just being a D-bag.
Right. Yeah, I got to get on the plane.
Drives me nuts, man. Like people are like, it's this thing that people have when they fly. Like they become weirdos. And I'm judging them because
I got to get on the plane, man.
Why? Hey, guess what? I'm flying Delta. I have no points on Delta. So I just get whatever group, like group 6, group 7. I'm one of the last people that is going to be on this plane. I understand that going in. So guess what? When they start boarding, the boarding process, I'm group 7. You know what I don't do? I don't leave my seat. I don't go hover around where people are boarding because I know I'm one of the last people that are going to get on the plane.
Right. You're not a go-getter.
Oh, the plane's landed. I'm in 33F. Excuse me, do you mind moving so I can stand here for 17 minutes? So everybody else can get off. And the
OTAs
second.
are optional. I like the players who show up.
Yeah. You also like the retired guys who show up.
Oh, this Teron Armstead. I'm such a fan.
I hate, but I honestly, I don't know if there's anything I hate more than the people, the plane lands, and they're out of their seats. They're grabbing their bags. Excuse me. They're
Yeah.
reaching
Oh, I love
over
that.
me. Like, no, you're behind me. And then if
It's a
if I'm
contest. It's a contest. I do it in my
it is.
head. Like, who can get their bag the first? Whoever gets their bag the first out of the overhead compartment, that's the winner. I always win.
And if I'm in the window seat, the people in front of me in the middle in the aisle get to grab their bags, and then you have the people behind. Like, now I have to get out, and they're just trying to get in front of me now. It's like, hey, there's a mother bleeping process to this, bro. And if you want to get off this plane earlier, pay more money. Pay more money. Get a seat up top. Pay more money then.
All right. This is why you get walked on.
I don't think I get walked on.
I think you do. It sounds like everybody's getting off the plane while you're trying to.
Well, I send them strongly worded messages under my breath, of course. Your weather from the Demesman and Dover law firm. All this to say, congrats to Turkey. They're doing this right. Honestly, that is the best law in place around the world right now. The best law. Your weather from the Demesman and Dover law firm. Call them 866-954-MORE. YourAccidentAttorneys.com.
I'm probably
Free
not paying the
consultation.
ticket, though, if I get it, because how many times am I going to be in Turkey?
They're also apparently not actually implementing this law at all.
Oh, fair.
They're just scaring customers. Your weather from the Demesman and Dover law firm.
It
Call
does
them
drive me crazy, the boarding, though, the hovering with the boarding. It is so – that should actually be fined. You should be fined for that.
You still have people that try to lie about their boarding pass now. Like, their boarding – it's like,
I
really?
mean, you scan it now. There's a big red light that comes – brrr. You know, it used to be back in the day. I'm smoking a cigarette. I hand the thing. I mean, they don't even know.
Yeah, it flashes red, so now that person has to walk back.
Walk of shame. You're not fooling anybody. Yeah.
Could you imagine? Yeah. Like, I would be
like
so embarrassed.
Hey, parents with young kids. Hey, they got like a 14-year-old son. They're walking up to the thing. Yeah, young kid.
And also the idea of like the overhead compartment space. I get that. It's a pain in the ass. But you know what happens if you've already passed through security with your luggage, with your carry-on, and now there's no more space? You know what happens? They bring it right back up to you when you land.
The only problem is if you put your granola bar in there.
You're a snack guy, right? Before you get on the plane, you go, you buy your snacks. You're a snack guy.
Yeah, I mean,
trail mix.
I don't know. I'm more like the, in the lounge, fill myself up. I don't have to worry about the.
You see this movement on social media that lounge people are getting shamed for being lounge people, for paying the fees. So? Yeah, for paying the fees to stand in a 2-hour line just to get into the lounge.
Well, I'll tell you, these lounges are getting nuts with the lines.
Yeah.
You get to the airport, you got to check in real quick on the lounge. Half the time it says standing room only, not accepting. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah, yeah. So what do? They raise the rate?
Have a grape.
Do they raise the rates, or do they just start?
Let's start weeding these people out.
Yeah. Or you just start sending people away. Like, nah, you don't look like a lounge person.
Gonna have to ask you to leave. Don't like your look.
Your weather from the Demesman and Dover law firm. Call them 866-954-MORE. YourAccidentAttorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Partly cloudy in South Florida, but hot and humid. That is your weather.
And somebody points out on the text line, of course, the guy who watches Lilo and Stitch instead of the Rocky movies is getting pushed back into his chair as he's trying to get off the airplane by everybody else getting off the airplane.
Mahalo, Hawk. Mahalo.
I don't even know what Lilo and Stitch is.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
I don't know what it is. Like Tom
It's
and Jerry?
Yeah, man. Just like
The
Tom and Jerry.
mouse and a cat?
Yeah. The mouse and a cat. Exactly.
I didn't know that it was an old movie that they brought back.
No, it's a cartoon.
Right. But I thought it was just, like, current. I didn't realize this was old and hadn't been around for a while.
Yeah. It was a movie, and then they turned it into a cartoon when I was in, like, first grade. I mean, we're talking early 2000s.
'Cause I think there's a theme park that has a Lilo and Stitch ride.
Yeah, there is.
Jimmy looks confused. He wants to get to that theme park. Santa's Enchanted Forest, Jimmy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Butterfly World on Sample Road. I talk about Atlantic Men's Clinic on this show. I really am a believer. Atlantic Men's Clinic, they're the experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. Listen, you want to treat low testosterone? Go see the Rocky movies and throw your DVDs of Lilo and Stitch in the garbage. All right? There's step one. That's the first thing they tell you at Atlantic Men's Clinic. Atlantic Men's Clinic, you go in, there's a questionnaire. It says, check here if you've seen the Lilo and Stitch movies. Check here if you've seen the Rocky movies. If you check the Lilo and Stitch movies, they send you right to the special room.
The extra low T room. Right this way, sir. Or ma'am.
They can help anybody except the person who checks the Lilo and Stitch box and leaves the Rocky movies unchecked. At that point, you're really on your own. Just hit a GNC, try to do something. I mean,